Hello, hello. Welcome everybody. I just realized I have my light right in my face. Welcome to my Wednesday live stream. Not usual for me. I'm usually here on Fridays, but I am super excited to be here to create with Gina K Designs products. Once again this week, I was live. We had a pre-recorded video that played live on Gina's channel on Monday. And it was super fun because Gina got to introduce my video, and then she came on afterward and she had taken notes, which I thought was so cute. I loved that. I created this card. It's right behind me, so I'm gonna grab it. Let me say good morning to everyone. Hey, good morning, Tanya. Nice to see you. Hope the weather is good at home. Mary Ann. Hey, Marta. Glad you're home today. Helen, Sue, Tanya Goff, thank you. Yes, I had to match my card. I always try to match what I'm creating. And so today had to be bright and bold because I'm in the Midwest, and I'm not sure if you are experiencing the same as me, but we had this dose of spring, and then all of a sudden winter is back, and I think we're getting sleet. Is that right, Simon? Are we getting sleet? And it's so disappointing. So I feel like I have to compensate with my cards and my clothes. So hopefully you guys will love the colors that I'm using today, and they will brighten your day too. Of course, my doorbell rings as soon as I start my live stream. Tell me if you guys can hear me okay, and that I'm coming through nice and loud. Hey, Alan, first time being here watching me. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. I appreciate that. Yes, so brief, I know. Crafty, who is Tracy? I know, so brief. It was such a beautiful few days though. Oh, let's see. Oh, someone's in very warm Queen Creek, Arizona. Nice. Yes, tornado and thunderstorms. We did have some thunderstorms yesterday, but I did remind my son today that with all this rain comes beautiful green grass next month, and all of our spring flowers blooming. Okay, so let's go over what I did on Monday. On Monday, I shared this card with you, created with some new Gina K products and ones that I have in my stash that I love too. So I did a little bit of ink blending with a stencil. I showed you guys some really cool techniques for how to create 3D looking balloons, which I just love that technique. But then we kind of covered it up with additional color and stamping and embossing. And then we created some really fun focal point balloons for the card too. So if you didn't catch that video, go back to the Gina K Designs YouTube channel and watch that one, because it's really fun. And I know that so many of you have these products on hand and you can give these techniques a try. Thank you, Rachel Lee. Thank you. Cold here in Wisconsin, but I still love spring. I know. I do love spring too. Hello, Cheryl. Nice to see you from Vancouver. Okay, very icy in Ontario. Oh my goodness. Wow, I didn't realize that it was icy up there. Well, thank you, Rena. Thank you so much. And if you are new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe if you like what you watched today. We're going to be creating a fun floral card that's really bold and really beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, we're going to be using one of the latest Gina K Designs incentive sets called Bright and Beautiful. And so I know a lot of you guys have this incentive set on hand. We're going to be doing some foiling with foil mates. We're going to be coloring our flowers, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways to color. I'm going to be using some alcohol markers today, and I know not everybody has those, so I'm going to give you another idea for how to color your florals. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad you liked the balloon card. Oh, Daisy got a walk-in in Kentucky. That's my home state, Daisy. All right, so I have a friend, a special guest with me today that I'd love to bring in, and she did hint that she was going to be here today. So I want to welcome Gina from Gina K Designs. Let's bring her in. Hello, Gina.
Hey everybody. How's everybody doing? What a great day. Megan,
I love that you wore bright colors too. I love that.
I did, yeah. I'm just trying to to summon spring as well here on my end. I'm just a little bit north of you in Wisconsin, and we really got spoiled with that beautiful day we just had. But
Absolutely.
It's not far behind.
Yes, absolutely. I know, I feel exactly the same.
Well, Megan, I have to say thank you so much for being on our channel for that really fun live on Monday. Your card was amazing, and everybody loved the way you teach techniques. I got so many emails and messages and stuff saying, bring Megan back, bring Megan back. She's got such a calm teaching demeanor, and I learned so much. I learned so much. I took notes. I'm excited today. I can't wait to see what I learned from you.
I love that. When I saw your notes, that just warmed my heart. Thank you.
Well, I did want to offer your audience a little gift today because you've done so much for us and for the industry. And for those of you that don't know, Megan is one of the key people at SCT Magazine too. And she's the one responsible for getting all the newsletters out and putting together all those, the whole blending boot camp together and stuff. She's a pretty amazing force in our industry. And all of your viewers who came over to my channel, it was so fun to see them, and I wanted to do a special thank you today. So I have a special deal for your viewers. If anybody's interested today, what we're going to do with Megan today is we are going to offer a free gift with any purchase that you make using any of Megan's links. So this is the free gift. It is our blending brush and tool holder, and it's a $12.99 value, and it's going to be yours free with this coupon code. So the coupon code is MEGHANGIFT. Make sure you spell it with 2 N's, MEGHANGIFT. You get this free brush tool holder. It's a $12.99 value, and it's yours free with any purchase of $75 or more. Now, I know most of you, when you do make a purchase, you like to get one of our incentive sets. And so that requires a $75 purchase. But this time you'll get 2 gifts. You'll get the free incentive of your choice, and you'll get this brush holder. And I just wanted to show you a couple ways that I like to use this brush holder. Because you guys know recently we came out with a new brush bucket for our blending brushes. But I use these brush holders for a variety of other things. Now, the first thing I want to show you here is, let's go to the front shot. I like to use it for my detail brushes because it will hold 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 of these brushes. If you like to have lots of extra detail brushes and you know, there isn't enough room in your brush bucket or your regular blending brush holder, they fit perfectly in there without touching. You can also fit several more on the inside holes. Can you see those inside holes in between? You can fit more blending brushes in there like that. See that? So you could really have, gosh, probably, I don't know, 27 brushes in here. So that's one way I like to use it. Now, another way I love to use it is with tools. So I have one that sits right in front of me while I'm working, and it has my Tim Holtz knife. It's got my pick and stick tool, my tweezers, my white gel pen. This is my little brush I use for like perfect pearls, my water brush, my Sakura Stardust pen, a pencil, and several different pairs of scissors that I use all the time. So that's another way that I like to use it. And then another way I like to use it is for my markers. So I have all of my Zig Clean Color brush markers in here, and you can see it holds a ton of those. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 3. You could probably hold about 27 of those. Marvy markers, Stampin' Up! Markers, whatever markers you use. And what I love about this holder is, let's just go to that overhead shot. It takes up a very small footprint on your shelf because you can put them on your shelf almost like books. You can slide them in and out, and you can have your water-based markers, your alcohol markers, your Zig Clean Color, your tools, your detail blending brushes, all, if you use a calyx unit or even a regular shelf, you probably fit 5 of these in one of the squares of a calyx unit. So this is a great economical way to store things. It saves space and it really keeps things very, very organized. So this is yours today. This brush holder, tool holder is yours today with that coupon code. We'll show that again. We'll go back to the front screen and we'll show that coupon code one more time. And then I think Megan pinned it to the top of the chat. So if you're thinking about placing an order or you've got some things in your cart that you've been thinking about, now's a great time to do that. Make sure you click on one of Megan's links to the products, find what you want, put $75 in your cart, and you get this $12.99 value free. Now, you have to put this in your cart, okay? So this has to go in your cart. Find the product, stick it in your cart, and then use the coupon code, and you'll see the $12.99 come off. So, Megan, thank you so much for just having me here and letting me do this today for everybody.
Of course, thank you. That's an amazing free gift. And I did put all of the details down below of just, you know, how they need to add it to their cart. I did put the link there for everyone, so it's really easy for you to find it. Add it to your cart first and then click through, do the shopping. And then once you have hit $75, then you can take that that $12.99 off with my discount code. So, and I'm sorry that my name is such a weird spelling. Right? Sorry, guys.
That's all right. Yeah. And I, the one thing I'm not 100%, I think you have to have $75 of product after the code.
After the, yes, and that's what I put,
So, but I mean, if it's, you know, it's a great time to stock up on cardstock and adhesive and glue and things like that too, because a free gift is, you know, this is a great free gift. I love it so much.
You always need refills of these, right? Always.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Well, thank you, Gina. So great.
You're gonna do foiling today, right?
I am. Yes. I've got my machine here ready to go.
So it's a great time to stock up on some of those Poly-Glaze sheets and foils too. And then you can do the technique that Megan's doing today. So, all right, well, I'm going to be in the chat the whole time. I cannot wait to see what you do today, Megan. You are always a breath of fresh air and always so much fun to watch. So thank you.
Thank you, Gina. And I hope you have a wonderful day and we will talk later, okay?
All right.
Thanks, Tom, too.
Okay, all right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Gina.
Okay, bye.
Oh my goodness, you guys, what an amazing free gift. When Gina said to me that, you know, that we could do this free gift, I could not believe it. Amazing free gift. So I have pinned the link to Gina's shop in the comments at the top. So you'll see that in black at the top. And then you just use that discount code MEGHANNGIFT for your free gift. And remember, you have to spend $75 over the cost of that free gift. But hopefully some of the things that I'm showing you today, you'll say, oh, right, I meant to order that before, or I meant to get that. Plus, I'm going to be using an incentive that that was an incentive for the February release. So if you put $75 additional in your cart, you're going to get 2 free gifts. You'll get the incentive, and then you can use that discount code for your free brush and tool holder. And I love those tool holders. I also have one in the corner of my desk with my scissors and sharp implements on it. So, okay guys, Bonnie says, so very late, we'll have to watch on replay. Bonnie, you can definitely watch on replay at any time. Let's get into making a card, shall we? I'm really excited. Okay. Yes, take your fuse out of the box. Absolutely. All right, you guys. All right, let's get going here. So I'm a little bit close. So I'm going to go wider and show you, that's the wrong card, what we're going to be creating today, because I have a few cards here. That's my card from Monday. Okay, let's take a look at what we're going to be creating today. So this card is going to use the new Bright and Beautiful Incentive Floral. And then we're going to create a foiled panel to go behind it. So I'm really excited about that because this is one of my favorite foil packs from Gina. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about contrast in card making, because there's a few instances on here where we have some great contrast for our florals to really help them to pop off of the of the card. So if you have this stamp, I want to know how many of you color with alcohol markers and how many of you don't have alcohol markers and color with some other medium like watercolor or possibly your colored pencils and Gamsol like Gina does. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by showing you how to color it with alcohol markers, okay? So this is the Bright and Beautiful incentive set. Now, you can't add this to your cart until you have $75 or more in your cart, and then a little pop-up will come up and say, you know, which incentive set do you want? So this is Bright and Beautiful, and if you love this card today, you'll choose this one. Then I added the link to the die cut. There's a coordinating die that you can order. You can add that to your cart, and it's down below in my video description. And you'll find everything that I'm showing you today in that video description below. So don't forget to add the die set if you get this incentive, because you'll definitely want to cut out this floral. So Marta colors with alcohol markers. Patty uses some of each, trying to use Copic, says Sue. Helen says, I don't use my alcohol markers often. Well, hopefully I'm going to be showing you guys some techniques that will maybe help you want to take out your alcohol markers today. And I am going to go ahead and put my Bright and Beautiful stamp on some alcohol marker paper. So this paper is from OLO, and it's specially designed for their alcohol markers. So I bought a lot of it recently because I always just try to start with a paper that will give you some good results. Now, I know that you can also use Gina's paper as well because it's nice and smooth. And that's really a good thing, a good quality and a good paper for your alcohol markers. You want them to be able to blend really easily. Okay. Pencils and Gamsol, says Mary. Yes, they can be intimidating, Daisy, but I'm going to show you really simple coloring techniques today. We're only blending with 2 colors, and when you're starting out, you don't even have to use 2 colors to blend. Now, the first thing I did to start off was I'm using amalgam ink in Whisper. I like starting off with Whisper because I don't have to worry about allowing my ink to dry. If I used Obsidian, which is also alcohol marker friendly, a lot of times you'll have to kind of wait for it to soak into the cardstock, make sure that it's fully dry, because if you're using really light colors such as, you know, yellows or pale greens, you might see a little bit of that color transfer. And that's with, I've tried so many different alcohol friendly black inks, and that happens like across the board. It's just if your ink isn't saturated enough into that cardstock yet, if you stamp and you go to color right away, that can certainly happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my Whisper to see the outline of the color. Now, I stamped that twice, so I have a darker kind of start. And then I'm going to keep it in my MISTI. This is the other thing I like to do. If I'm using this technique where I have a double stamping process, I will keep it in my MISTI because I know everything is exactly where I need it to go. And if I need to turn my paper, I'll just turn my MISTI. I like to usually color on an angle. I'm going to try my best to color straight for you guys today so that I don't make you dizzy. And I always like to start out with the darkest color first. Okay, so if you're just joining, we are using the Bright and Beautiful incentive stamp, and we are going to color using some alcohol markers. Today I'm using OLO markers, and this is R2.4. Now, I'm not going to do this in a long, like drawn out way. I'm going to try to be quick about it. So R2.4 and R2.3 is going to be my red blend, or my pink. It's kind of a bright pink. Let me go in closer for you guys. So what I did, I started off with R2.4 and just did a couple of flicks out from the center of the petal. And then I'm going to cover it with R2.3. And then those colors are going to blend ever so beautifully as they dry, right? Now, This is super easy. You could go in with a third color, but we're not going to do that today. And to be honest, it doesn't really add too much. It just takes more time. Now I'm going to keep my lids off because I'm going to go one petal at a time. And I like to do that just so I know that I'm going to get a nice smooth blend. If you would do the entire, say the entire flower with R2.4 and then go back with R2.3, it might not blend as well because that R2.4 is completely dry by that stage. Okay. So I'm just going in and using like short strokes here, ever so short. Okay. Now my coloring, just a PSA, my coloring might not be as beautiful as it was when I did this card to prep, because I was putting my head down over my coloring. And right now, I don't want you guys to see the top of my head. So I'm trying to hold my head back and be careful about it. Just gonna look at your comments. It actually, the thing I love about this, Gina, is that it does look good when you start and you can really see that darker color in the middle. And then when you go and you restamp in black, it is so stunning. And it's always like a shock and a surprise to me every time just how good it looks when you put that black outline on there. Okay. Hey, Sherry Road. You're not late. You're right on time. We do have a really exciting free offer that Gina introduced. So thank you so much for that, Gina. So be sure to check that out in the video description below. I put all of the details there about what you have to do in what order. Do you see how pretty that is? Okay, so that's our pink flower. We're gonna do these two as well, but it's super fast. I like to do two petals at a time to kind of make sure everything is going to blend beautifully. Now Gina likes to use the Crafter's Companion markers, and those are great because they're tri-blends. They have the color already, like the colors that blend together already on the same marker. With OLO markers, what's really fun about these is that you can choose your blending pair. So both of these kind of go together. So I've chosen R2.3 and R2.4. I did have those down here for you. I pulled them out of the shot. So I have those two, and I just attached them together because I knew I was going to be using those two today. Now, whenever I have a piece of my flower or something else that's going to be kind of underneath something, so underneath a leaf or another petal, I will just color that all in the darker color. Yeah, Betsy, you should definitely try the double stamping approach, especially if you find you keep on dragging black ink into your lighter colors. I just find that this approach is a no-fail approach, and I really love Gina's Whisper Amalgam ink just for this. Whisper is such a pretty, like, beige color, and it has just the right amount of color so that you can see what you're doing when you're using your alcohol markers. But if you don't have alcohol markers, I'm going to show you one more way that you can color this in. Now, you guys might have a lot of different ways, such as your coloring pencils and Gamsol, which Gina just does so. She's so masterful at that technique, and I have not done that in such a long time. When I was first starting out card making, when I was a teenager, that was kind of one of the techniques that I learned from Stampin' Up classes. And I think at the time, Stampin' Up probably sold Gamsol, and that's why I learned that. And I really loved it back then, but every time I watch Gina do it, I'm always amazed. Okay, so there's our 3 red flowers. I'm just gonna make sure that I put the lid on correctly here. And then I'm gonna go in with these lilies. I love tiger lilies. When I was growing up, we still do, we have lots near my parents' house that are wild. And they're always that dark and bright orange color. So all I'm gonna do here is take my 2 oranges. So OR 1.4 and OR 1.3, and I'm going to do same technique, OR 4 first, and then color the rest of the petal in 1.3. So this is a kind of no fuss blending, and also notice that my blending pairs are not too far apart from each other. And I think when you're just starting out, that's important, because when you have a blending pair that's further from each other, it can be a little bit intimidating. So on this one, that is just the bulb, I'm going to color the darker color at the base and then go lighter at the top. And I could have certainly gone with one more color, but that's just complicating things. And it's kind of nice when you have two, because you can just turn your marker and keep going. They are such pretty colors. And I love that they're so just bright and bold. You cannot go wrong with pink and orange together. And I'm going to show you the colors that I would use if I use Gina's inks too. So this will probably take me maybe 10 minutes to color, I would say. So this is kind of one of those cards that shouldn't take you ages. These are going to be leaves, I think. I'm sure, I don't know if Alicia designed this one, Gina, but I was trying to see last night. I'm pretty sure that those would be leaves. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so there are our colorful florals. Then we're going to come in with some greens. Now, I love doing kind of two different colors of greens together. So this is more of a yellow green, and this is more of like an appley green. I'm going to go a little bit darker, I think, but in the new colors, like new 96 colors that I just got, I was kind of choosing which colors to use here based on the chart and seeing which ones blended well together. So that's why I went with that. So what you can also do, this is something I highly recommend, is just going on the side of your paper like this and testing it out, because it's unlikely I'm going to be using this side of the paper now. So let's go with this brighter green for 3 of our leaves, kind of doing a little visual triangle of color. And when I say visual triangle, that kind of just takes 3 different things and pairs them together so that they create like a connection. Okay, so all I did was outlined the veins in my darker color, that's YG 2.5, and then I'm going in with 2.3 for the leaves. Thank you. Yes, that is so good. Gina, that's a great point. So you do not need a ton of markers to start at all. You can start with your favorite colors and just choose like 2 different blending pairs. So if you love these colors and you love the combination I'm showing you today, then you can go back on replay and look at these combos, or I can put them in the list later. Okay, let's see here. Yes, there is a link to the OLO website below. Absolutely, you can check that out below. Oh, so pretty. Okay, loving that. Okay, so those are going to be my 3 bright greens. Then I'm going to go in with some darker greens. I'm going to do G 5.3 and 5.1. So here's G 5.3. Let me show you how that differs. See how much darker that is? And it has more blue in it. And this one, so Cindy, you can get this on the OLO website. They have a download section. That actual card came with my 96 new markers, but you can get all of those on their website. Okay, so let's go in with the rest of the leaves with this darker green, and we are almost done. This isn't going to take us long at all. Okay, So I'm doing G 5.3 and 5.1. Now these are a little bit further off, and you can see that there's a bit more contrast to the darker color than the lighter color than there is, for instance, with this other green. Now, when you get to this kind of section here, you got to think about your shading. So that area right there is kind of covered by that petal of the flower. So I'm going to cover most of that in dark green. Same right here. This is all going to be kind of in the shadows. So I'm going to cover that with the darker green and then go in and turn my marker and use the lighter green here. I love coloring. I hope you guys do too. It just makes me happy. So Jane Smith says, Gina, when she looks at this part here, she thinks that looks like a fold over from the petal and not the leaf. I think it can be anything that you want it to be, but I do see that there aren't any other leaves, so I'm pretty sure that those are meant to be leaves. But I think you could color them any way that you choose. If Alicia drew this one, we need to get Alicia in here to tell us what she meant for that little section to be, because I know that she does such gorgeous florals. And how many of you guys have already added this incentive to your card? Maybe you already have it in your house and you can color this up today, because I think it's just the perfect size floral. It's not too overwhelming to color, you know. Just takes about 10 minutes, and then you have a really beautiful floral as a focal point on your card. Okay, so let's add some darker colors just right here below the petals, like that. Just like that. Debbie has the incentive and the dies, perfect. Yes, and those dies are still available. I double checked this morning, added them to the list below, so don't forget those dies. I know that sometimes it's hard to remember when you're checking out and you want to just hit the buy now button, but don't forget those dies, because those just allow you to put that floral wherever you want to on your card. Makes it so much easier for you to do kind of the techniques that we're doing today, and adding some different textures and colors. I'm going to go back over this one just to add a little bit more depth to the center. This is another thing you can do. You don't always have to bring in a third color. You can take your lighter color again and just go over what you already went over, just to add a little bit more. It almost makes a third color because you're adding kind of that medium hue. And then I'm leaving the outside that light green. Oh, Sue Monroe said she needs to finish her SBC Fest homework. Well, hopefully you're joining both mine and Gina's classes, because I'm really excited about SBC Fest. Like, super excited. Can't believe we're 2 days away. So everybody tune into that. We also have, there's also, like, I have a lot of friends in it. Justin Adkins is in it. Gina's in it. It's going to be such a great day. Okay, so there's all my green. Now the last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of yellow. So for the lilies, I'm going to just do a little touch of YG 0.6, just like right there, like that. It's barely noticeable right now. Oh, Beth, if you look at a plant, none of the leaves are exactly the same colors, right? Now, if you're in my house, you might notice that some of the leaves are bright green because they have lack of water, because I'm a plant killer, but most healthy plants have different colored leaves. And if you think about the light levels, where light's hitting the leaves, it's all gonna look different, right? Okay, so there is our image colored. Wait for this transformation. So everything is still in place, haven't moved anything. And now I'm gonna take my amalgam ink in Obsidian. This is the game changer. And I'm gonna cover up this image, and it's just going to be amazing. It's such a transformation. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now, I always have to go back to the center of my flowers, and I'm gonna press down on the centers because those are kind of like some solid parts. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's fantastic. Okay, so let's go out a little bit wider. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Vicki Donnelly. Nice to see you. Thank you all for being here today. If you missed the start of the live, there is a free gift on the table. It's a brush / tool holder that Gina showed off at the beginning of the live. So if you're just joining and when we get to the end, go back and watch on replay, but you can find all the details for that below. Isn't that fantastic? Love it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this on here. I'm gonna wipe this off just so that I don't forget it. Actually, I'm not gonna keep it on here. So the trick with this is keeping everything in place. And when you have a grip mat, like this one from Gina, you can do that. You can keep your paper in place, not worry about magnets or worry about it moving at all because it's in my MISTI. I can color it. I can stamp it first with Whisper, color it, then stamp it again with Obsidian, all in one place and not have to worry about anything shifting. Okay, thank you, Judy. I'm glad you like that little trick. Okay, so there's one. Now, what if you don't have alcohol markers and just using colored pencils or markers makes you a little bit nervous? Well, why don't we try to color it with our Gina K inks? So I have stamped on watercolor paper with amalgam ink in Obsidian. So we're starting off with that dark color. Now, I am not a watercolor expert. I don't have fancy watercolor pans, anything like that. But what I do have is dye-based ink that you can use with water. So why don't we give this a try? I'm gonna use medium cranberry. Sorry, Brianne, I don't have my ink stand out today. Grass green and sweet mango. I feel like I'm letting you down. I'm sorry. Okay, sweet mango. So I'm gonna put these colors here. So we're gonna try to use the same colors. And this is really fun, you guys. Hey, Amrita, nice to see you. Mindy must be done now. I see a lot of you guys on here. Yes, no chance of smearing, Gina, no chance. And you know, amalgam ink is friendly for alcohol inks, and it happens with all sorts of friendly alcohol inks. It's just about the paper and the amount of time you let it sit. Okay, let's go in close. Oh, Barbara, I hope you do. And if you guys do try this out with your incentive set, please tag me in the Gina K Designs Facebook group. And if you're not a member there, be sure to join us there because there's so much inspiration over there. Okay, I have a water brush and I am using medium cranberry to color in my flowers. I am not a watercolor expert by any means, but what I'm going to do is just go over them with a light wash of color, just like that, and try to stay in the lines. And then I can always go back to add a little bit more color over the top. It's always about getting the right amount of water to ink ratio, right? I am a little bit more heavy-handed when it comes to this. When I see people doing the no line, I just don't even know how I would even start with that. I think it's amazing. And there's so many talented designers in Gina's group of designers that do that no line. But if that intimidates you, you don't have to do that at all. You can just use your amalgam ink and color in with your Gina K markers, Gina K inks. So I just smush mine on my glass surface, grab my water brush, and go to town. Isn't that fun? And it's beautiful, just so beautiful. It does, it looks great, right, Gina? So this is a watercolor paper. I would highly recommend using watercolor paper. Now, do not ask me about the difference between hot press and cold press. Gina might know that better than I do. This is a hot press paper that I'm using right now. And that might make a difference with, you know, your dye-based ink versus a watercolor pan. Okay, and this takes up so little ink too. You can get a lot of coloring out of just a tiny bit of ink smushed on your desk. What I would love to do is have the center be darker, just like I did in my alcohol markers, but I'm not pushing myself to get that technique down, just because I am not a watercolor expert, but this already looks so great. And I'm just kind of allowing it to go into the paper. Yes, there are so many talented no-line artists out there. I am not one of them. So I hope you'll come to my channel for other techniques, not no-line, and Gina, if you're, I know you're in the chat, but if you share some of those artists that they could check out for who create for you, I just find their cards just stunning. And I wouldn't even have a clue on where to start. Not a clue. Okay, look at that. See, now I'm starting to get like a little bit lighter at the outside. I'm kind of starting my color in the center, hoping that I can get the majority of that color in the middle. Now you can always go back and add a bit more of that color in the center and just use less water, and that will give you that more intense cranberry in the center. If you wanted to pull out your dark cranberry, you could do that as well. Isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful, Doreen, with just the flowers, absolutely. But this is another way that you can color this just really quickly. And I think that the size of this incentive stamp is just perfect for doing a quick card. But if you're like me and you like to take your alcohol markers when you watch a movie, or when you get in bed to watch the news at night, because I'm guilty of that, it's better than a computer, right? Although sometimes I do take my computer to bed too. My husband does not love it. But as Gina said, I do a lot of things. Oh my gosh, I love those. And then I just clean out my brush by squeezing some water out, cleaning that off. So, so pretty, right? Let's do the orange. And then I can do a couple of the leaves and show you those. I know, right? That is such a great point, Gina. Gina just said, I love that when you use my inks, your cardstock is going to match perfectly. And that is such a great point. You don't have to worry at all about trying to find a cardstock that will match, because you know it will match because Gina's inks match her cardstock. It's a very good point, Gina. Isn't that pretty? I love Sweet Mango. And these are kind of the same colors that I used on my balloon card the other day. So as you can tell, I'm really into these colors right now, those pretty warm colors. Okay. And you can go, you can get a darker orange if you wanted to do these a little bit darker, or you can go back and add a little bit more color wherever you want that kind of more intense color to come. Gonna get that down there. This over here. There we go. Okay, so I think, oh, I missed one. Let me get this one right there. When you use the inks with water, do they lose any on the blending smoothing properties? I think that's dependent on your paper. So look at how smooth that is. I hope you guys can really see. It is so incredibly smooth. And this paper is just a really good, I would get an artist quality watercolor paper for sure, because there is no, I can't tell any, like, that these didn't blend or smooth at all, right? They're kind of perfect. And this is so easy, Teresa. I am not an expert at all, and I'm just trying to use a light hand. I think that it's important not to get too much water, right? Because if you get too much water, then it's kind of going all over the place. Then you can't keep it in the lines. It's a little bit stressful, right? But you're going to get the hang of it the more you do this. Okay, now I'm using grass green today because I think Gina talked about grass green the other night when someone said, what's a good alternative for ooh, for some other color. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I've pulled out my grass green in a while, so let's give it some love. So that's what I'm doing today. Giving my grass green some attention. I gotta give equal opportunity to all my colors. Although, if you're like me, these cranberries are getting all of the love right now. I'm gonna need a refill of cranberry stat because I'm loving the cranberries, you guys. So on this one out here, I'm gonna try to get nice and light with it. So the more you practice, the more kind of you can practice your lights and darks in watercolor, right? So this one's going to be kind of dark because he's tucked underneath that flower, just like we did with the alcohol markers. You know, we used mostly the darker color on these lower leaves, like that. And up here, I'm going to go a bit darker. Hey, CM Roca, thank you for coming on live. Yes, if you can only stay a few minutes, you can always go back and watch on replay and check out the free gift offer that I posted in the video comments. Don't miss out on that because it is a really good one. I'm going to add a little bit more grass green here, and I do have fresh asparagus as well. I might use fresh asparagus on the lily stems because those can be pretty dark. Okay, almost done here. And then we can create a background. And you guys can tell me which one you want to see me put on a card. Maybe we'll put the watercolor one on a card next, because I did do the alcohol marker one on my other one. Oh, is Mindy here? Mindy's here. Hey, Mindy. Okay, almost done. It's a little bit counterintuitive to be coloring on a live stream because coloring is something that relaxes me and live streams don't. So it's kind of funny to do them both at the same time because I'm like, oh, this is nice. But then I'm like, oh, I need to check the chat and make sure my live is still going and everyone can still hear me. It's okay, we got this. We got this. Now, your watercolor pan also is going to make a really big difference. Let me just tell you guys a story. My son, for Valentine's Day, and my son loves art. He's 5, and he loves coloring. He loves markers. He loves it all. So for Valentine's Day, he got one of his gifts from his classmates was a watercolor pan set. And it was one of those that like they were in heart shapes, and he immediately got home and said, I want to color. So we're using fresh asparagus for these stems because I wanted them to be darker, and these leaves. And I said, yeah, great, buddy, let's color, you know. So I got him all set up, got his brushes out, and he immediately started coloring and was like, Mommy, this color is horrible. I can't see these colors. And it's because there's, in really inexpensive watercolor sets, there is very little pigment to them. And I think Gina's talked about this with the same with pencil sets. So you want to find a really good quality one because they will have more pigment, right? I'm going to try to cover up that little boo-boo there. I think this looks great though. I think we're pretty good. Okay. So if you want to invest in some watercolors, but I think start with this and see how that goes. But if you want to invest, find a really good quality one. Now, the other thing I need to do is just add a little bit of color to the center. And I'm going to do I'm going to mix yellow and sweet mango, which I have wild dandelion, just to kind of touch the middle of these flowers. They're mostly black, so you're not going to notice too much, but we just want like that hint of color there. You could also use like a little bit of mixed media, add a little bit of sparkle, some of Gina's glitter. Okay, so now we have two very different colorings of the same stamp. This one's a lot more bold, right? And this one's a little bit softer, but both easy and both extremely doable. All I used were a few different colors of ink here. Okay, so let's clean this up. Clean it up any way you would normally do with ink when you're blending it, just some alcohol. And we're gonna die cut those out. Let's see, let me grab my die. If I can find it here. Here it is. Okay, and you know it's the right way around because of that lily up there. Thank you guys. So easy. So getting this incentive set, you know, try coloring it a few different ways to see what you like best, and maybe you like all the ways of coloring. Maybe you like it all, because I do. I love both options. I think there's a place for both. Okay, so I'm going to grab my other grip mat. I always say mate and mat. I get them mixed up. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down. This one's a little bit dirtier, but it's well loved. Oh wow, that's cool, Gina. You have 2 of Lisa's watercolor paintings. That's amazing. Okay, I always keep my plates where I can find them. Now, one thing that I wanted to remind you of is that I think this will fit in here. Yeah, if you are in need of plates, that's a great thing to buy to get up to your $75. I did not check to see if they were in stock, but I have them linked below, both of the thicknesses of your intricate plates. So, because what happens is we realize that they're shot right when we're in the middle of doing some big project, right? Look at how pretty that is, you guys. Isn't that lovely? So that's always something I like to have extras on hand. So I will always have a set in my drawer. Yes, your choice of medium depends on how much time you have. I totally get that. Totally get that. So one other thing is when you have a specialty paper, say you have alcohol marker paper like I do, or watercolor paper, keep every little scrap of it, because you never know when you're going to need it to color in something small, like, you know, the cute little critters that Gina puts out. I'm going to save like this little piece here and put it in with the rest of my paper. Okay, make sure that's lined up before I run it through, and it looks like it's slipped. That happens to all of us. Okay, and I would be so sad. Now, the one thing you could do is die cut first before you color, but if you're doing the double stamping technique, you really can't do that. You need to die cut afterward. Okay, guys, so now we do have these all cut out. I love them both, but you guys can help me decide. Maybe we'll do the watercolor one on this card today. Okay, I'm going to keep my die set nearby because we need to do a sentiment in just a little bit. So I'm going to put this right here, but first I'm going to pull out some Poly-Glaze foiling sheets. Now, this is one of my favorite designs, and I'll tell you why. Gina has a lot of florals, right? We love Gina's florals because she is so good at them. And when we talk about contrast, that doesn't just mean color. Contrasting colors are a great way to get a card to pop, but you can also talk about contrast with shape and patterns. And when you have a floral like this and you put it up against a geometric pattern, it creates such a pop. And this diamonds pattern, you can find it linked below, is one of my favorites because when you put it with florals, it's an instant wow, right? Instant wow. Let me show you a card that I created ages ago. And this is one of my favorite cards of all time. I will not give it away I think this is one of the first Gina K cards that I created, but I will not give this card away. I don't even have it on a card back because I love this card so much and I keep it behind me. So I remembered that card and I thought, oh, let's go with those diamonds. So we're going to use some medium cranberry, and first I'm going to add a little bit of color while I turn on my fuse foiling system. Okay, I'm going to get that turned on. I'm going to grab my pink brush. Gina is the queen of florals, absolutely. We can give her that title. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and the great thing about Poly-Glaze foiling sheets is that they blend really beautifully. This is super duper smooth, right? And you'll notice that even if you get a smudge, you can typically just blend it right out, which I think is really cool. So I want my floral to go down in this bottom corner, and I'm going to blend that a little bit darker and kind of fade out from there, okay? So I'm going to start down here in this bottom corner. Now, whatever's in the bottom corner is going to get covered, so hopefully if I have any boo-boos, it happens down there. I do want to cover the whole thing, right? But I'm going to try to start in that bottom corner and focus on that. And notice I'm going in really lightly here, really lightly, and I am kind of swirling my brush and the ink over here to not go in with too much ink on my brush. Now, it's going to look a little bit like cloudy right now, I guess you could say. It's not perfect, but just keep at it. Just keep blending. And then once you cover it with foil, you're not going to notice any of that anyway. So, no, I don't want to give that one away, Cheryl. I think I did make it twice though, actually. And I did actually do this one with alcohol markers. And this was when I was just learning. So I did do like some, you know, more contrasty colors, but that was when I was just learning. It's okay. It's not the best coloring, but it's still fun. And I'm sure that whoever, if I do ever give that card away, they would not look at it and say, I'm not sure about her coloring techniques. They do blend so beautifully. Okay, so now I kind of have a little bit of color. Let's go in a little darker down here so that this area that we're going to put our floral on just gets a little bit more color. Maybe it almost looks like a shadow coming out of the flowers. My machine is warmed up. I like that. And do you see how like it looks okay? The rest of it isn't bad. I can even do a little bit more blending kind of where up here. And the reason that I would do that is because in the center, that's where my sentiment will go. And so that kind of leaves a little highlight right there for my sentiment, which I think is fun. That's okay. We're going to make do with that. Can add a little bit more ink right there. Okay, that's good. I'm feeling good about that. I'm going to pick this up so I can just gently pull that up. Oh, absolutely, you can ink blend them. They ink blend beautifully. They're so smooth. And this is if you don't have the diamonds, that's a great thing to purchase today to get to your free gift. Remember, if you spend $75, then you're eligible for 2 incentives today. One, you can get this bright and beautiful stamp set that I'm using today, and 2, you can use the code in my video description or pinned above to get your free tool or brush holder. Okay, so this is a step I always forget, but today I'm not going to, because I have a lot of you on here, so I have to be a professional. I'm going to dust off that sheet. I'm also going to take this is Butterscotch, okay? It's kind of like a yellowy orange, I would say. And taking my Butterscotch foil, dusting everything off, just trying to make sure that it's all nice and smooth and there's no little weird, like, you know, if you forget to dust it, you're gonna get like little dots in there. Okay, so then I'll put it in there. Let me go wide here. Oh, thank you, Linda. I loved the balloon card. I loved it. And if you guys missed me creating this card on Gina's channel on Monday, head over to Gina's channel after the live and you can watch that. Now, I'm gonna put my fuse right here. It's already ready to go. I tried this out a couple of times. I like it on a 4, okay? So I'm gonna run this through. I like it on a 4. I know 3 is our go-to setting, but 4 gave me really good coverage. So just try it out. Try it out a couple of different ways, see what works best. You can definitely ink blend before adding the foil. And I've tried that a few times too, and I prefer ink blending first. So yes, I have the egg Poly-Glaze, would love some ideas on using them for Easter. Oh, that's fun, Bonnie. You could actually ink blend a pretty background by using just a few colors, do like an ombre effect. Thank you, Nikki. All right, are you guys ready for this magic? And the great thing is I don't see any like bumps in here, because sometimes you get a bump, but look. Oh, it's perfect, you guys. Look at that. Oh, so excited. Isn't that stunning? It's like a treat every single time I do it. You know, I just love it. I love that. I love to peel back, the peel and reveal. There's something really special about that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, this is another way that I'm gonna get some contrast. So instead of just adding the panel to my folded card base, I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of black. I'm gonna pull a Gina and use a little bit of black. I'm also gonna create a band. What's important about this band is that it crosses over the lines in my background. So that instantly kind of creates a bold contrast, and it's black. So it draws your eye right to those flowers. I'm not drawing the eye to the sentiment today because I didn't spend a lot of time on that sentiment, or I won't in just a few minutes, but I want those flowers to stand out. So that's why I did this band right across, okay? So what I'm grabbing here is Master Layouts 2, my go-to Master Layouts, and this fits that frame just perfectly, so we can die cut that out. And I just wanna make sure that that is perfectly centered, and I'll put some tape on here. I have like a million pieces of tape. Yes, I pulled a Gina. I pulled a Gina and used black. Hello, Marisha. Nice to see you. Marisha created an amazing video for the SCT YouTube channel last week, and she used some of Gina's stencils too, and Gina shared that. And Marisha is so talented, so be sure to check out that video on the SCT channel. And I'm gonna run this through ever so quickly on my big machine. Okay. And then I'll pull that off, and my tape just pulled off a tiny bit of my foil. So always be careful. I forgot to make sure my tape was there, but I think it'll be very like unnoticeable once it's on the card. Okay. So then I'm gonna take Master Layouts 14, and I'm going to take this outer frame, and this creates, with that large one from Master Layouts 2 and this big one from Master Layouts 14, it's going to create the perfect size. Now, no, it's not. Look at that. Wah, wah. Okay. Do I have another piece? Yes, I do. I do. Wah, wah. Okay. Got to get another piece of black here. We're going to put this right in the center and add this with some tape. We won't notice that. No, we won't. And the person who gets our card, they will not notice it. And if they do, they will not say a thing. Okay. So this is our outer frame. And then I'm gonna grab my card base. Oh, did it the wrong way. Okay, just gonna take my pick and stick tool here to really get that crease in there. Lovely. And then layer these up. So Master Layouts 14, Master Layouts 2 creates a really great kind of larger panel. Now, if you also do not have, you saw that I just had like a few little hairs on there. If you don't have a mono sand eraser, add to cart. I think I have that linked below too, because that is like a go-to for me. If you have see these little hairs? We don't want to see those on our die cuts. So we're going to get those little hairs off, just like that, okay? And then I can adhere this to the center. Just like that. Now, I want to add that band, and you can find several sizes of these on Master Layouts 14. I'm going to use the one that's stitched because I really like that extra detail. Love that. I love a stitching detail. I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to run this through my machine. Tape, missing tape. Oh, awesome. I'm just looking at your chat. Everybody saying hello to Marisha. All right. It's an exciting week though, isn't it? We have so many awesome things happening right now. And the SCT Magazine Crop and Create unboxing is this week. You know, I've gone live on Gina's channel this week. Let's see how far down I want this to go. Where did my card go? Here it is. Okay, so I'm putting this kind of in the lower third. So somewhere about here. And the great thing about these diamonds is you can look at the diamonds to make sure that you have your strip nice and straight. A dot of the refill ink. That's a good idea, Linda. You can absolutely use your refill ink for sure. Now I have a mess here on my desk. Things are everywhere. I have ink, mono sand erasers, adhesive. Everything is everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to trim this off. And I like to put it in the center just so it's even on both sides. The stitching lines don't go to the sides, just like that. And then we can stick this on our folded card base. And the last thing we need to do is just add a sentiment, and there's so many great sentiments on the incentive set. Okay. Just make sure that's nice and straight. Hey Mindy, I know that black strip makes a big difference. It really does. And I noticed, you know, Gina last night when she was creating her card and she added black to that strip that went across her card. Oh my gosh, was that not amazing? I just thought it was beautiful. Okay, so our flower is going to go here. I'm going to put it on with some foam adhesive. I really like things in that corner, but what I want to do is kind of move it just ever so slightly so that you can see that that border goes all the way through, because that's what's going to draw your eye to that flower. Okay, so I'm going to just put some foam adhesive all the way across to make sure there's no sagging anywhere on this flower. Okay. So kind of a different live for me today. I don't typically color on my lives, but I thought, you know, the incentive set was just crying out to color it. Marisha certainly does. It is Diary of Belle Rose. So if you look up that name, you will find her Instagram channel. You can also look up Marisha Dean and you will find it as well. So pretty, you guys. Ooh. Can't handle it. Okay, let's grab a piece of scrap paper. I have so much scrap paper. Look, this is I think, mini magnolia scrap piece. Looks like it. Let's use that one. We're sticking with the Gina products here, right? So let's use this one. And we are going to stamp our sentiment. I never waste a piece of white cardstock. It is just not in my wheelhouse to do that. Okay. We just need to find our stamp again. Let's find that stamp again. Okay, is it behind me? Is it behind me? Did it fall on the floor? How often does this happen to you? Does it happen to you guys all the time? Because it was here 1 second and now it's not. Let me grab my thing here. Let's see, Master Layouts, Poly-Glaze, Master Layouts. Oh, there it is, stuck to the back of my die set. Okay. Oh gosh, the diamond Poly-Glaze has to be on your list. So I love to Here's to Bright and Beautiful Days Ahead, because I think you can use that for anything. Like, you know, if somebody meets a goal and you want to send them a congratulations, if someone gets engaged, if you know, there's so many, just as a friend, you know, you have bright and beautiful days ahead with your friends or your loved ones. So I'm going to use this one again. Plus it matches the name of the stamp set, which I really like. I like that Gina does that. Okay, and then I'll take the die set and cut this out. But again, like I did on Monday, I'm also going to cut out, there it is. I'm also going to cut out 2 other ones because I want to stack them. I always stack my sentiments if I have the time. If I'm rushing, then I will do foam adhesive, but I think that you get no sag when you stack. It looks like a piece of chipboard, which I really like. I think it just looks really, really nice when you stack them. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my tape. Yes, thank you so much for giving me a thumbs up, and thank you to all the people who took a chance who have never watched me here before. I'm usually live on Fridays at noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central. So that's my normal time. So if you can join me next Friday, I'd love to have you back here. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking that bell. And that's when you'll get notified when I'm live. I also usually do a post. So in my posts in the community tab, it'll have a post from me when I'm going live. Sheila, scrapbook and cards today is what I was referring to. It's SCT magazine. S as in Sam, C as in Charlie, T as in Tom. So check that one out. That is where you will find Marisha's video from last Friday, where she did some gorgeous blending with Gina stencils. So this scrap isn't done. That's like how much I save. I will save that one too, because you can get a sentiment out of that. I like to save my scraps. Okay, let's glue this together and get it on our card. And we will finish up this card, friends. And if there's anything I forgot to add to the supply list, I will do so after the live stream. I think I got almost everything. I think I might have forgotten the Whisper amalgam ink. So we will get that added to there. Okay, just stacking. Now when you stack, you want to make sure you use your fingers and kind of make sure they are lined up. Yes, next week is homework for Crop and Cree, and I will be headed to Canada for that event after I get back, right after I get back from spring break. So I'm home just about 24 hours before I head to the airport again. Thank you, Gina. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Okay, look at how beautiful. And I love that they look so different. Every time you do it, it's gonna look a little different because your ink blending might be a little different. Your coloring might be different. You might decide to switch up the colors, or you might have a heavier hand one day than the next. So, you know, don't forget, every card is going to be a beautiful work of art. And there we go. Adding that on there. Now, the last little piece that we're going to add, I'm kind of obsessed with these lately, this mini pearl mix. Oh my gosh, Nikki, that's a lot of white paper scraps, my friend. You need to start crafting. I'm going to use my pick and stick tool. What I like to do, I always like to add the glue first. So oftentimes I will lay out where I want my little embellishments to go. And I already did that with my practice cards, so now I know where I want them to go. I'm just putting little tiny dots of glue, and then I can go in. This saves me from doing things with two hands. Then I'm going to go in and place my mini black pearls. I'm just using the black ones. Gold would be pretty here too. But I didn't want anything to compete with that foil in the background. There we go. So, two different ways to color your incentive stamp, and then add a little foil, and it just becomes a standout card that I'm sure would brighten anyone's day on these dreary spring days. Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Oh, IB Crafting said, I think I just got this set on Monday. Hooray. I hope you give some coloring techniques a try with it. I'm going to go back to my face so you guys can see me. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Gina for allowing me to share this amazing freebie with you guys. If you don't know the code, it is use code MEGHANNGIFT for your free brush and tool holder. That's over a $75 purchase. So you're going to be able to get not only the free brush and tool holder with that coupon code, but also this amazing stamp that I used today. And don't forget to add the die to your order. So that's $13 right there that you're adding to get to that $75 purchase. Okay, you guys. So you can see all the details of that below. It only goes to the end of the day on Friday. So start building up your cart, and then once you hit $75, then you can add your tool and brush holder and then use the discount code. I hope you give these techniques a try. I hope you love creating with the Gina K Designs February release as much as I did. I think I've created 4 cards now with it, and there's always more ideas to come. So thank you so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you'll find me next Friday when I'm live here on my channel. This Friday, I'll be at SBC Fest, so you can join me there. It's a free class, and I hope that you'll watch. Thank you guys so much. Happy creating, and thank you again to Gina. I'll see you guys later.